In a world covered by water, intrepid explorers must probe the depths in order to save the future of mankind. Sealab 2059. Coming to theaters this summer.
Welcome back for another installment of Custom Time. I have something that I'm very excited to share with you guys. This mod is not a mod at all. This one is a complete ground-up build and probably one of my favorite projects that I've done. I call this the Sealab. If you are familiar with the mod world, there has been a massive explosion of custom parts and especially custom cases. And what that allows us creative types to do is not just modify an existing watch, but build one from the ground up. All right, let's get into it and let's start at the base, which means we'll start with the case. Those of you in the mod world already are familiar with Crystal Times Horology and know that they are pretty much the preeminent producer of watch modification, Seiko modification parts. In the last year or so, they have really just expanded, blown up their offers, what they the kind of components that they offer, and it has been a boon really for anyone who likes to modify watches. They really are turning into a one-stop shop. And I think one of their greatest contributions in recent times has been watch cases. One wonderful idea that the wonderful idea that this is built on is that all not all, but most of the cases that they have been producing are designed with the idea to use all mod parts that will fit that are compatible with the Seiko SKX007. It's by far the most modified watch, and thus has the most modifiable or mod parts available for it. So it was a brilliant idea to create cases that are compatible with the SKX007 parts. Not only have they done a case like the Seiko Turtle case that takes that's a conversion to SKX007, takes SKX007 parts, a reproduction SKX007 case, and many others, but they've also done original cases which also fit all SKX007 parts. And this right here is the first of that line. This is the CT701 crown at 3 case. As you can see, this is an original case. It really does not bear any resemblance to an SKX007. Now, they have recently released an SKX007 crown at 3 case, which does look quite a bit like a 007, but with the crown at 3 instead of at 4. This is not it, however. This stands up as its own case, and as soon as I saw the original designs, you see all the stuff if you follow Crystal Times on Instagram. As soon as I saw the original designs, I knew that I wanted it, and I knew that I wanted to build off of it. So I started brainstorming right away. So let's just get a good 360 view of this case. It's rugged. It is just has these lovely stout, thick lugs. They're drilled through. These crown guards are just epic and give it such a nice modern tool appearance. There's your helium escape valve in case you want to escape your helium or whatever. This, you know, smooth. This is the case back that came with it. Just a smooth, sterile case back. Just wonderful, wonderful case. This video probably doesn't do it justice. Holding it in your hands is a whole nother ball game. So that's where we started, is this case. Let's jump now, since we're staying around the outside. Let's go ahead, let's take a look at this crystal. This also comes from Crystal Times. It is a single domed, really bubbly crystal. I don't remember the model number. I'll include it here on the bottom. What I love about this crystal is how it, well, first of all, how it gives the profile of the watch, how it stacks all the way from the case back all the way to the dome. This is partially why I called it the Sea Lab, because it really looks almost like an underwater futuristic installation. The other thing that I love about this crystal is how it distorts the dial. So really, you don't get to see it until it starts coming into appearance right around here, and it's just such a fun, kind of fun visual effect that I will just, whenever I'm wearing this watch, I'll just do this over and over, and then people are asking me, you know, what are you still there? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, where were we? Let's get back to the business meeting. Anyway, I don't do business meetings. I'm just making stuff up now. Anyway, so let's go to a couple of the other outside here pieces. So this bezel, the bezel insert, the steel bezel insert, and this crown actually all come from Watch and Style. Watch and Style is another a newer name, big competitor in the mod market. They have really been producing stuff incredibly fast, and I wanted to try them out, and I was not disappointed. All of their components are quality components. Now, this is not a disclaimer, but just as an aside, Crystal Times produces all of these parts as well, with the exception of this dial and hands. This particular bezel, this bezel insert, this kind of crown, obviously all the other stuff are all produced. So if you wanted to do the one-stop shop thing for a build like this, you can do it all at Crystal Times. But I wanted to test out Watch and Style for their parts, and I thought I was not at all disappointed. And they are also competing full bore for a share of that modder component market. So as I said before, the case is designed to take all parts for an SKX007. And this bezel's designed for an SKX007. It fits the same way with that clicking ring that goes underneath, and is designed for a unidirectional bezel. That was one thing that I wanted to modify. I set this up as a 12-hour, a dual time watch with a 12-hour bezel insert. So I wanted to be able to rotate this in two directions. Okay, so this is the normal direction it rotates, so you can track, you know, 2 time zones this way, but I wanted to be able to rotate in the opposite direction as well. So I had to do a slight modification to the clicking disc underneath, and I will show you guys how to do that in another video. It's pretty simple though. The protrusion on the disc, you just have to bend it in the middle so that it doesn't stop the bezel from moving in the opposite direction, but it still does click and stop it at increments. And as I said, I'll try to make a video and show it. It's going to be pretty quick. So that's the outside case. Crystal from Crystal Times Horology, bezel insert, bezel and crown from Watch and Style. All right, well, let's move inwards now, since we've talked about the outside enough. So let's start with the movement. The movement here is actually a 7S26. Now you might ask, why wouldn't you just put an NH35 in? It hacking and hand winding. Well, when you do a bunch of modifications and upgrade to a bunch of watches with NH35 movements, you end up with quite a few 7S26 movements hanging around. And I figured I've got one, I might as well put it in. It works great. Obviously, you've got to give it a little shake to get it going, and that doesn't really bother me too much. I'll probably upgrade it to an NH35 in the near future, but for now, the 7S26 works just fine. Keeps great time. It's, you know, it's Seiko's workhorse. Moving on to the dial, this is Dagaz watch. I don't even know how to pronounce it. If Jake is listening and wants to give me a tutorial, Dagaz. Anyway, if anyone else does, man, does he make fantastic dials. This thing is a beauty. The quality is unparalleled. Wonderful dial. The hands come from DLW. They're the ladder hands, similar to what you'd see on a Benrus type 1 and 2 watches. DLW is great because you can do a lot of mixing and matching. They have these ladder hands in a bunch of different colors, and the seconds hands in different colors, and you can mix and match for a single set. And you could actually order them separately as well. You can order a separate minute hand and separate hour hand and everything in between, which is fantastic. And you know, if you want to put together a specific set, or if you just need one part, you don't have to waste the money. You can just get one hand, and I think that's great. So that kind of wraps it all up. This is the C-Lab, the C-Lab dual time watch. I am very proud of this build. This is probably going to end up being the longest video I've made, so hope you didn't mind putting up with all that. If you want to see how to convert the unidirectional Seiko bezel to a bi-directional one, feel free to throw in a comment, and I'll try to do a video of that. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and cheers.